The road to Resident Evil 8 continues. With the Village and Castle demos done and both being excellent, the hype for Resident Evil Village could not be any higher. Today, I'm going to take a break from Resident Evil Village and delve into another topic. Amidst all the excitement for Resident Evil 8 going around, there has been another rumor that has come to my attention, and that is the speculation that a brand new Resident Evil title for Nintendo Switch is currently in the works, with the placeholder name Resident Evil Outrage, supposedly releasing in late 2021 or 2022. Being a huge fan of the Resident Evil franchise and a big fan of the Nintendo Switch console itself, it goes without saying that I'm very intrigued as to what this title could be and how it could possibly turn out. In this video, I'm going to go over what I would like to see in a new Resident Evil entry on the Nintendo Switch. Exclusivity. With this new Resident Evil game coming to the Nintendo Switch, it will most likely be a timed exclusive that will later come to other systems. I want this entry to be a heavy hitter, one that will actually drive sales on the Nintendo Switch system. One example of doing this well is with another recent game from Capcom. Monster Hunter Rise is a timed exclusive on Switch, with Nintendo allegedly shelling out $6 million for those rights. Monster Hunter Rise on Nintendo Switch is one of the biggest titles dropping this year, especially given the Switch's lackluster lineup for 2021 so far. I think the next Resident Evil game on the Nintendo Switch should follow this same strategy, being a high quality, high production value, timed exclusive. Gameplay. The gameplay of this latest entry should be on par with the best Resident Evil games already existing. In my opinion, this title should take a page out of the recent Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remakes. These games have a traditional over-the-shoulder camera angle and have a fluid and intuitive user interface. Despite being short and having content cut and stripped out of the original, I think Resident Evil 3 Remake is the best controlling and best feeling Resident Evil game to date, as well as the most beautiful graphically. This game should marry the crisp gameplay of Resident Evil 3 with an even more compelling story. There should also be a wide variety of enemies like in Resident Evil 8, instead of your standard run-of-the-mill, brainless zombies. I would also like to see a bigger emphasis on inventory management return. Resident Evil Remake is considered to be one of the best games in the franchise, and is essentially all the core elements of what a Resident Evil game should be. This entry should take a lesson from Remake, where each trip to the save room is strategic, and having the right items on you at the right time can mean the difference between safety or an untimely death. The story. The new Resident Evil on the Nintendo Switch will supposedly be titled Resident Evil Outrage, and will be similar to the Resident Evil Revelations games that originally released on the Nintendo 3DS. I want this game to have a deep focus on story, and have the story be more impactful in this release. I'm not entirely sure where the story could go at this point. I guess Resident Evil 8 could even play into it to some extent, so it's hard to say until we actually get that game in our hands. Personally, I would like to see a story involving Leon S. Kennedy and Ada Wong again, as they are some of my favorite characters in the franchise. I wouldn't mind this game being the game that brings certain characters' story to a close, or even kills off certain characters, as to make the story have more gravity and have higher stakes and impact. I would like to see original characters added as well. One of the best additions in Resident Evil history is the Lisa Trevor storyline in Resident Evil Remake. This story perfectly blends together horror, tragedy, and suspense, and was very well done. Something like this would make a great addition to Resident Evil Switch. I would also like it if the game continued the horror path in the same ways that Resident Evil 7 did, with even more disturbing and terrifying elements. These are just some of the things I'd like to see in a new Resident Evil release on the Nintendo Switch. Let me know if the rumors and speculation of this new title have got you excited. We are getting very close to the release of Resident Evil 8, and I will be covering the game on my channel as more information comes out. I will also be streaming the game and making videos on it as well. As always, if you enjoy this content, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and bang that bell. Thanks for making it through to the end of the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Until next time, guys.